Carlitos, you will work with Juanqui in an oral presentation, high intermediate level. We're creating a rubric, and you and I will work in an ECC ELASH oral practice. So how would you grade a class activity? What are the features? Remember, these features have to go on the left side. And then what would you do here? Because 4 means expectations, 3 means expectations, blah, blah, blah. What does each one mean? Okay? Let's do that. Please, let's take, let me see, time. We're going to take 10 minutes to create just a draft. Okay? I'm sorry. I have to give you 1 copy each. Yeah, so you can have a little copy for yourself. You have oral presentations here. Work with Carlitos. I will work with you, okay?
Okay. We're going to do those.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see some ops. Just this problem. We need to make sure they are.
Ours is
Okay.
Features.
So, under
Yes, which features?
Okay.
I can see.
So both of them are testings and assessments.
Yes.
So is non-verbal communication important? One by one.
Non-verbal communication.
Do you think it's important?
There's no miscommunication.
About
No. Okay. Fluency?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. What else?
Also pronunciation, of course.
Do you grade that in ECC and English?
Pronunciation. Well,
This is
English. Pronunciation.
It's accent.
Number 4 is
Yes, right?
expectation.
Okay, well, let's continue. Accuracy definitely.
Oh, that's the first in English, right?
Yeah, accuracy, yeah. Okay, this one has accent, the other one only focuses on communication.
So, accuracy.
English is more into, yeah, it's more into accuracy and syntax. So pronunciation, accuracy. What else? We have two more. Yes, it's for that topic, yes.
I agree.
In groups, it says there.
I'm between
Okay.
communication and interaction.
Choose English.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're rated differently, but yes,
Sure.
we chose pronunciation, so definitely it's English. So fluency, pronunciation, accuracy, what else? I would say comprehension.
Meets expectations. Okay.
Mhm.
Slow.
We don't have to write any activity, I mean, no.
No, just
No
like a
criteria.
description.
Comprehension and
Okay, now on description, right? Like,
It's very
we
good.
need to make sure they are.
ours is
Okay.
Features.
So, under the-
Yes, which features?
Okay.
I can see.
So both of them are testings and assessments.
Yes.
So is non-verbal communication important? One by one.
Non-verbal communication.
Do you think it's important?
There's no miscommunication.
About accent.
Okay. Fluency?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. What else?
presentation.
Yeah, fluency, language use, delivery, content, pronunciation. Yeah. I would.
Students use.
Actually, pronunciation is part of the delivery.
Correct.
Yeah.
Grammar and
The
vocabulary.
languages, that's the grammar and the vocabulary.
Okay. So now write the description of each.
They're correct.
How would you measure? Why is it one? The student, blah blah blah.
Interaction.
Grammar and vocabulary is there.
Ajá, so.
I mean, you can rate that in your class. Yes. Okay. So fluency. What type of student has
All
fluency
the
one?
or long expectations.
Students. Okay.
Yeah,
From what is the rank?
From 1 to 4. 1 is does not meet the expectations, and 4 is meets expectations high.
Okay.
So fluency for number 1, the student has many communication breakdowns or awkward pauses. Yes. So what is the description for fluency for 1? Why would you put 1 in fluency?
For instance.
Because of what you're saying, because of what you're saying.
Yeah, so write whatever Andrea is saying and write it for fluency one.
But to make
I should also, yes.
students.
Yes, but this is, remember, this is an activity, oh, this is a class activity. We're not really talking about the exam per se. This is
Yeah,
an
But we can
activity.
say the students
for
use
class.
grammar and vocabulary correctly, but they some mistakes.
Yes, from other rubrics. Yes, in fact, by the way, guys, I included here, if you have, I have done rubrics before, but here, there is a rubric for B2 students.
Mm.
Here, for grammar, and this is examples. Grammar and vocabulary, discourse management, pronunciation, this is from Cambridge. And for B2 level, this is the one that we're aiming. So if you don't know what to write in the content of each of the areas, you can find the information here. Yes?
Great,
So,
thanks.
fluency, for example, you find here interactive communication. This is interaction.
Mhm.
So, pronunciation, discourse management. Read the questions. It says are the answers an appropriate length of task? If there's much hesitation, it's a fluency.
Yes.
There are too many pauses.
And hesitation.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And two.
What will be two? It will be less than this,
Yes,
obviously.
of course.
So you say pauses, cause, what do pauses cause?
Yeah.
Frequent pauses.
Mm-hmm. No, infrequent will be this one.
Here, yes.
So this is frequent. This is too many.
Yeah, frequent.
So you see the adjectives go lower in two.
Frequent
Pauses.
pauses and hesitation.
Mhm. That do what to the communication?
Here, to the pauses and hesitation, the fifth
Mm-hmm.
fluency.
Very good.
Was
3,
communication.
you said infrequent?
And infrequent, okay.
5 minutes to check.
Is it a breakdown?
You don't have to say like the whole idea, it's just an idea, okay? Do not cause communication breakdowns.
Unfrequent communication breakdown.
Mhm.
Breakdown, but still understand.
Mhm. You can use your own ideas.
Okay. Yeah, and 4, there will be, what?
This is the best.
Yes. There's no, let me see. Able to express.
Very good.
Able to express.
In an even pace.
Able to express, their ideas. Able to express their ideas.
In an even pace, even pace, or in a
That can be used
constant.
for-
And even.
Okay. The pronunciation is
And one, constant errors.
constant, frequent.
Frequent. Frequent errors. Frequent errors,
For example, minor.
Cause misunderstanding.
frequent errors, yeah.
Okay. 2.
Frequent errors, some errors.
Yeah.
Choosing what I need.
And then you adapt it to your reality. Yes, that's what that's what we generally do. The thing is that Tony's using the papers that I gave you that also has rubrics, but in a vertical way. So you can, take a look later about it. The thing is that from reading the rubrics one time and another time, some terms are already in your head, like obscure and misunderstanding and breakdowns and outward pauses. For example, the use of fillers, it should also be included.
In Spanish, too.
Yes, in Spanish, usually in Spanish, definitely. That could be included in fluency, the use of fillers, like too many fillers. The use of fillers to cover vocabulary gaps. Okay. So let's listen to Jimmy and Leo and their rubric for
Grammar.
grammar, just an idea, just to give me us an idea about the rubric.
Okay, we decided to choose these 5 speaking features. First, accuracy.
Mhm.
Okay, why accuracy? Because we think communication needs to fulfill the rules and the steps in order to send the right information in the right at the right time. So we also have nonverbal communication because sometimes body language speaks more than words. Content because if we give them a specific topic, they should be focused on that one. Okay, coherence because sometimes they use wrong expressions or they went off topic, like you said. And finally, communication, whether they have the touch, I mean, to help or to send and to attract the attention of people, and they finally make them understand that's
It's really good that you added communication in a grammar rubric, because generally it's grammar say, you forgot to write the verb, so now I'm gonna put a 0. But the meaning of the answer, the understanding was there. So we cannot only judge for the accuracy
in
grammar.
real life. When you travel, you see that many people don't use grammar.
Right.
They just communicate. But yeah, that's real life. Okay, communication happens even though you don't use all the rules.
Mhm.
But that's why we think communication is important, but also accuracy, because sometimes when you don't have like the right word or the right expression, or you're not using the words in the correct order, there may be some confusion.
Right. What about you, Leo? Why do you think? What was the most important feature in that rubric?
Well, I have communication here as one of the most important, because the students are able to explain on a rate, to communicate in detail without pausing so much.
Right.
And accuracy, because the students use the correct grammar and vocabulary.
And it's the right topic,
Throughout
because
the
it's syntax. It's a class for syntax.
Exactly, yes.
All right.
Then, I don't know what else, coherence, that's able to communicate, explain, and express themselves in a topic given in a very, in a way that the interviewer understands what they're saying.
Yes.
Coherence.
Very good. Yes, I like coherence. Yes, excellent. Carlitos, Juanqui, tell me.
We got pretty much what you said,
But yours is another topic. Yours is
Oral
individual
presentation.
presentation.
Or
Yes.
we include fluency, language use, delivery content, and communication.
like the
Okay.
fluency,
In fluency, we have like
continuous speech.
from 1 to 4. 1, the presenter is entirely tied to notes.
Okay.
Or 9. Number 2, presenter sometimes communicates directly to the audience. Number 3, presenter is generally communicative with the audience. And number 4, presenter is inferring control of the presentation.
Okay.
For language, grammar and sentence structures are weak.
Mhm.
And number 2, grammar and sentence structure are lacking coherence with frequent mistakes. Number 3, grammar
You
and
included the features in the numbers.
Mhm.
Okay, that's very nice. I think it's very clever.
I feel like we also included the delivery. I mean, they're going with the eye contact, gesture,
Right.
visual aids, because
Because it's individual presentation, yeah, so that's why I mean, like, it has to be different.
So it's not like, for example, sometimes
I
students just
got
talk
it.
to the screen.
No, from
Right.
preparing to system.
Yeah, that non-verbal communication is really important. Right. What about you, Tony? Tell me.
My rubric is for an ECC English oral practice. My features are fluency, pronunciation, accuracy, comprehension, and interaction. From 1 to 4, fluency. 1, too many pauses and hesitation, the use of many fillers. Number 2, frequent pauses and hesitation, not many fillers. 3, infrequent communication breakdowns, but still understandable.
What are the other features?
I'm sorry?
The other features, fluency?
Pronunciation.
Oh, pronunciation, accuracy, comprehension, and interaction.
Why is interaction important for the ELASH?
For ELASH,
Uh-huh.
they should be able to keep the conversation going and be really active.
Yes,
See if
elaboration.
the student can just answer the question, if he can produce the level.
And they
Yes.
have to give even their
If
own.
he's able to
pieces of
interact.
mind.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting for your demo class. You should include this in the planning that you will have to do. Providing feedbacks, what are some ways to do it? First, you can use scheduled feedbacks if it is a manageable number of students. What does this mean? You take the oral exam, but you don't take like volunteers. You set dates. Like you give them a calendar, say this day, okay, you're gonna take this day at 9 o'clock, I'm waiting for you. So you leave the students inside doing some activities, and that day the student has an oral exam with you. And after the oral exam finishes, you give recommendations. Positive, negative, positive, sandwich type of recommendations.
Yeah.
Positive sandwich.
Mhm.
You begin with something positive, you finish with something positive.
Yeah.
In the middle of the sandwich, the delicious part will be the negative part.
I know.
Okay? That's the way we do scheduled feedbacks. I do this with my ECC and ELASH students. I give them days, and they sit with me those days, and I know that tomorrow at 10, I have a feedback. I have an oral exam with this guy, and then I have to give him feedback. It's in class time. It's not extra time. Okay? Now, also, you can also use general feedback for the whole class, pointing out items relevant only to the rubric. Sometimes we say, Tony, but you didn't make a pause. Instead of making a comma, you didn't do the comma. You just continue talking. That is not relevant. We have to do things, that's why we're working on the rubric, because we have to do things that are relevant to what we're going to grade. And the last one, it's Miss Hilda's favorite, and I think it's my favorite too. Well, it's easier, it doesn't take much time. It's called self or peer assessment to encourage self-awareness, less demotivating method. In this way, you don't have to be part of the mea culpas that your students do. They talk to their partners and they say, you know what, I think that this is something that you should improve. Improvement. Positive critics, not negative. Not like, come on, you don't know the verb to be. No. It's more like, oh, but and I think that you should use this, and that. So they know how to give feedback, and they can give feedback to their classmates and vice versa. That is the peer. The self is the one that they put in a post-it. My post-its, remember I use them for everything. I give them post-its, and I tell them to write 2 things that they will improve. In other courses, I record them, but because this is an oral test, it is very delicate. They need to be highly motivated all the time. I tell them to write it in a paper. And then at the end of the class, they put the paper on top of my desks. It's anonymous. And then the next day, I try to figure out how I can improve everyone's concern about a specific topic. That's kind of the things that I generally do in my classes. So it's not like, Jimmy, come on, you don't understand what I said. It's not like that. Or Jimmy, sit down with me, you have problems, Jimmy. I think that you won't pass. It's not. It's more like Jimmy says, I don't understand your questions. Tony says, I don't understand your questions. The next day, I work on the comprehension. Yes? It's anonymous. So, well, this will be the last part of our day today. Thank you very much. And well, I'll see you next week with writing. That will be the last day, because the next Friday, after writing, you have to present your classes.
Okay.
Yes?
The demo classes for all your skills.
Yes.
It's an integrated class.
Yes, integrated class. That's why we're taking this.